So, good afternoon. Here we are at Ewbank's auctions near Woking in Surrey, and I've got Matt Groom here, who is the head of the car auction department. He's a very experienced person in in the car industry, and recently he came in charge of the car section here at Ewbank. So I'm
That's
very
right,
privileged
yes.
to have him here today. He's going to tell me about his vast experience in the car industry, maybe some of the cars that are his favourites, and also what's going on in both the used car market and also the classic car market. Because we're very uniquely positioned at Ewbanks that you sell both classic cars through auction and you sell modern cars at
Yes, we
auction.
do. That's right, yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many other places that are like that, are there?
No, it's very unique that we sell modern and classic cars. Exactly. It's a good combination because it's something for everyone. And yeah.
So, can you tell me a bit about how you sort of got into dealing in cars?
Well, I've always had a passion for cars since a young age, since collecting Matchbox toys and Matchbox cars. And I just had there's something in me that I had a love of cars. My career didn't start off in the motor trade. I started working in the mobile phone industry, and I decided that I just had a passion for cars. So it started off as a hobby. I used to buy and sell cars. I used to just love an old classic Jag, and I'd buy it and go to work. And actually, people go, "Oh, what are you driving that old XJ40 for?" And I went to a few car shows, and I got into VWs, and I've had quite a lot of VWs, Golf Mark IIs and camper vans, and just that's how it started. And I was, working hard in the mobile phone industry, and I decided I just fancied a change, and I started buying and selling cars, and it started from there. And I ran a company called Surrey Performance Cars, which became very successful. And then I outgrew where we were at that time, and we set up an online car sales business that I sold, and then I was helping Ewbanks out, valuing cars, and just the day-to-day picking cars up, and just getting involved in the auction industry. And I've always been interested in the auction business, and obviously I enjoyed part of the passion was going to car auctions, and I spent a lot of time at car auctions over the years, and I just loved the buzz, and decided that I wanted to get involved in auctioneering as well. And it went from there, and an opportunity arose at Ewbanks, and I took the opportunity, and it's going from strength to strength.
It's funny because I started my career as well in the phone industry in about 2005. I worked in that for a year or so.
Yeah.
I worked for obviously a company called Phone For You, which no longer exists, and which was a dreadful company to work for. They were really, really bad.
John Cordwell.
It was a really bad company, actually. It was quite funny. I mean, the hours I used to work in there, I was like 22, so you don't mind when you're of age, do you, putting in time? But like the basic pay was really bad. Carphone Wales were a little bit better, and they're still around, but it wasn't like the best sort of industry to be. It's very high pressure, I seem to remember, and
it was, yes.
And you didn't really get to do sort of a lot else. And so back in the day, I had an old Dolomite. Actually, it was one of the first ones I had when I was working Dolomite F300 SE from 1980. So I was into that stuff as well. It was interesting that that's where you kind of started off as well back in the day.
It was really interesting because obviously it was in infancy, the mobile phone business, and it was when it was an analog mobile phone, and you used to have to program them to the certain network that you sold it on. So, and it went from there. So, but yeah, it was good times.
So you mentioned a Jaguar XJ40. I drove one of those in I think it was 2023 for the 10,000 subscriber special, and it was absolutely brilliant. I loved the XJ40s. I can't believe that they aren't very expensive. I think they're a bit undervalued, and
they are.
So Matt, we're looking at this sort of classic car values at the moment. We've been discussing so far today some of the cars that are here, which we think are a little bit sort of undervalued, and also some cars at the moment, because of the market, they're actually dropping in value. So
That's right.
what can you think of that are cars, or even ones that are here today, that are a
Yeah.
little bit undervalued?
Well, I think, you know, the Mercedes 190 we've got in at the moment, they're undervalued. A great car, well built. Mercedes 124s are the same. There's a lovely range. You know, you do the convertibles. They're you know, I think they will go up in value. And certain, yeah, I mean, Jaguars like the XK8. I mean, it's an iconic car, but still a very reasonable price. And you know, this one we got in particular in the auction, you know, it's done 23,000 miles, one owner from new. I mean, that would be a great car to buy and, you know, have some fun in. It's a low mileage, so, you know, it'll only increase in value because of the mileage. You know, we got an XJR here as well, which is you know, again, a lot of car for the money. And they're sort of, compare it with a BMW M5. You look at the prices of M5s compared with an XJR, and that represents a good value for money, a lot of car for the money. And yeah, it's quite a hard question. There's a lot of cars that Porsches have sort of went up a hell of a lot of the air-cooled scene, and they sort of seem to be coming down a lot. But having said that, then the 924s have sort of, and 944s have sort of becoming quite sought after. So, and there's some modern retro classics that I think are undervalued at the moment, like a Clio 182. That they're like the next generation of the 205 GTIs, and Mark IV Golf GTIs, last of the good GTI with a 1.8 turbo. They're great. Audi TTs, I think they're a good buy at the moment. They seem to be undervalued, and they've got you know, great engines in them. You know, especially the 225 brake horsepower. And I think there's some, you know, the Mercedes SL, the from 2002, you know, that sort of model. They're great value for money, you know. And you look at the Mercedes 80s SLs, 107s. They're, you know, they've, you know, gone up, you know, a lot, but they're sort of creeping down again. They're sort of leveling out. Yeah, so there's a lot of cars that that we can talk about. We could probably go on quite a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So let's talk about the other sort of thing. Which cars do you think are overvalued? This is talking both from the modern and the classic point of view. So the Mark 7 Golf you've got here, which is a really low mileage. It's a 16, isn't it? This one.
Yes, it's 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's already at £10,000 on bidding, because obviously
That's
you're
right.
a hybrid auction. You do in person and
Yeah.
telephone, and also
Yeah.
on the internet. And that is a 9-year-old car. I don't say
Yeah.
done like less than 10,000 miles.
Well,
but
again, it's a probate sale, so it's only 8,000 miles, and again, you can't there isn't you find another one for out there with 8,000 miles. So that's why that I think is attracting a lot of attention. And it's you know, it's one owner from new, basically. You know, so it's like buying a brand new car for half the price.
Yeah, I mean the other figures, of course, it's automatic. So
yes, again, of course,
like,
the automatic.
you can add
yes,
50% to the price, something like that.
Well, it makes it more desirable. Yes, definitely. Yeah, yes, exactly.
So which of the classic ones do you think are a little bit sort of overvalued that we don't understand why? I mean, obviously the one that always comes to mind of me is a Mark II Escort. It doesn't even matter if it's a fast one.
Yeah.
They always seem to me to be a little bit too expensive.
Well, all fast forwards are, yeah, exactly. And I mean, Escort RS turbos, they're not exactly, you know, well built. They've got a huge following. It's nostalgia. It's when, you know, when I was, you know, in my 20s, you know, I had a 205 GTI. Golf Mark II, and again, I think Golf Mark II is actually quite undervalued still, and they're a great car. The Mark II Golf GTIs, big bumper 16 valves. They're an amazing car. People, you know, say about the 8 valves, and you know, they're a bit more revvy and you know, lower end. So you know, I think they're a good buy. The Mark II GTIs. And yeah, so I mean, the Golf, going back to the Golf, it's just it's because it's so unique. It's, you know, it's a probate sale, and yeah, it's if you know, you can't buy one on the forecourt at VW because of the age. So I think that's why who wants to snap it up.
Yeah. You've always got something. I've noticed a few times I've been there. There's always something a bit unique. Last time there was the Skoda, and then we got this Saab 99, and then we've
Oh,
got
that's right.
this
Yes. Yeah.
Fiesta Bonus 2,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
4-speed
That's right.
gearbox, and then
Yes.
the Daihatsu Syrian. They're all sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
little interesting. So yeah, I'm always happy to see when you've got a sale on and things coming.
Yeah.
And the next one you've got in July, I think. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
4th of July, the next sale. That's right. Yes.
Easy to
So
remember,
keep
isn't
an
it?
eye out for the next sale, the up and coming sale. And obviously, our sale is on the 25th of March next week, next Tuesday, week Tuesday.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. I really appreciate
No
it.
problems. With pleasure. Thank you.